Flaxseed meal reduces thromboxane, breaking platelet cloaking on tumor.
So in this video, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite foods, and that is flaxseed meal, which is rich in ALA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid, and lignans, which are phytoestrogens, and the effects that they have on VCAM1, ICAM1, as well as thromboxane A2. Also, I'll be pairing flaxseed meals with some other different foods for a synergistic effect. Okay, so there are adhesion molecules. They are called VCAM1 and ICAM1. So basically, these are hijacked by cancer cells so that they can migrate and metastasize around the body. Because so cancer cells, they have these integrins, and these integrins on the cancer cell, they bind on to the VCAM1 and ICAM1. What this binding does is that it allows the cancer cells to literally roll around so that they can move, and that's how they migrate to distant organs and tissues so that they spread to those organs and tissues in the body. But ALA, the omega-3 in flaxseed, is known to inhibit NFKB signaling, therefore also inhibiting VCAM1 and ICAM1, because NFKB is a key transcription factor for VCAM1 and ICAM1. So flaxseed lowers all of those. Also, something very important to know about flaxseed is that the flaxseed meal, it has to be ground or grinded down to a powder or maybe even in a cracker form, which is what I get from Aldi. Aldi has these flaxseed meal crackers that I highly recommend. They also don't have junk ingredients like most foods do when you compare the foods and the labels. Yes, but okay, so grinding or grounding down the flaxseed will make the ALA omega-3 available, because if the flaxseed is not ground and in its original seed form, then the ALA omega-3 will not be absorbed, and it will just pass through the intestines during digestion. And if the flaxseed is not ground, then it's not going to have the suppressing VCAM1 and ICAM1 effect. Okay, so now I'm on to thromboxane A2, and its role is platelet activating, and it is derived from arachidonic acid. Now, omega-6s increases arachidonic acid, and omega-6s you can find a lot in like soybean oil, uh, sunflower seed oil, canola oil, possibly other oils. Those seed oils are high in arachidonic acid, and this will promote platelet aggregation, contributing to cardiovascular risk, but also increasing the chances of tumors using those platelets as an armor cloak. And I've talked a lot about this in my other videos, but the tumors use the platelet cloak as an immune evasion tactic, so that immune cells cannot recognize the tumors if they are covered or cloaked by the platelet armor as a result of thromboxane A2, or TXA2 for short. Okay, but here's the great thing about flaxseed is, especially if it's ground or grinded down, so that the ALA omega-3 is available. And this is critical because ALA incorporation into cell membranes um, leads to ALA competing with arachidonic acid for enzymatic conversion by COX enzymes, leading to less TXA2 production or less thromboxane A2 production. Therefore, there are less platelets for tumors to use as armor, because flaxseed-derived omega-3s reduce platelet aggregation, partly by decreasing TXA2 synthesis. Also, the lignans and antioxidants in flaxseed meal can further modulate eicosanoid metabolism and endothelial function. So as a result of flaxseed lowering thromboxane A2 production, it's also cardioprotective. So flaxseed meal is having a double benefit. It is reducing heart risk, as well as reducing tumor platelet immune evasion. Okay, so now I'm going to list some foods that are great combined or paired together with flaxseed meals to have a synergistic effect. So the first one is flaxseed with berries such as blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries, because these berries are rich in polyphenols, which improve endothelial function and reduce oxidative stress. And then the fiber in flaxseed complements the antioxidant effect. Uh, so make sure to ground the flaxseed either in yogurt with fresh berries for max absorption. Next is flaxseed with fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines. There could be some issues with sardines though, but that's for beyond the scope of this video. I could cover that in a different video. But omega-3s from fish work synergistically with flaxseed ALA to reduce triglycerides and inflammation. Next is a flaxseed with leafy greens such as spinach, kale, Swiss chard. There are some issues with spinach though. Spinach is high oxalate. Oxalates could accumulate in the joints. Also, kale has a thallium, which is a heavy metal, which is beyond the scope of this video. But so those leafy greens are high in nitrates and vitamin K. And leafy greens promote nitric oxide production, good for the heart. Also, nitric oxide, T cells and immune cells, they need nitric oxide as well. So that's a double whammy effect. The flaxseed meal is reducing the metastasis of cancer cells, so leaving them in place or leaving them with nowhere to go. And then the nitric oxide allows an immune cell attack on the cancer cells. Another pretty good combination here with flaxseed is citrus fruits, such as oranges, grapefruits, and lemons, because they have vitamin C, which enhances nitric oxide bioavailability, supports collagen in vessel walls. Therefore, T cells and immune cells have a nitric oxide to boost immune system attack on cancer cells. And then flaxseed reducing the thromboxane as well, so that if thromboxane is lowered, then the tumors do not have the platelet armor that is allowing them to escape immune attack. Therefore, if they are vulnerable without their armor, they are also vulnerable to nitric oxide attack from immune cells, thanks to the citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, and lemons. Also, as a bonus, oranges also reduce the gut bacteria that create TMAO that lead to heart risks because of choline intake from eggs, because choline is critical to have from eggs, which is beyond the scope of this video. But choline can also lead to TMAO production, therefore heart risks, but oranges can help reduce that risk so that you can still have the eggs. So that's it for the video. If you want more future videos, then make sure to like, comment, share this video and my other videos with any of your friends and loved ones with any health concerns. Keep it locked in here on my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.